Well, I always wanted the driveway fixed because it was pretty rough, and I've always said to my wife I'd like it fixed, and out of the blue there was a flyer in the letterbox that just fitted the bill very nicely. And Betty said there's a couple of chappies coming to see you, a couple of Irishmen. So they came down and told me what they did and all the rest of it, and it sounded pretty good. And they said they were desperate for work to keep their people employed, and they were in the district. Would I like this job done? But I was a little bit concerned when they wanted cash. Not up front, but they wanted cash. That worried me a bit.
The way that these itinerant traders usually operate, they do door-to-door, what we call cold call shopping, in terms of knocking on your door, trying to get your business, or they will put pamphlets in your letterbox and do letterbox drops. So if you have people come knocking, or they're doing letterbox drops and flyers, then be aware of those. There are laws right across Australia about door-to-door sales. You have a 5-day cooling off period where there's a cash transaction of over $100, so you do have that cooling off period, but you should generally be sort of really wary of any deal that involves handing over cash up front. And that's how these itinerant traders will operate. They'll coerce you into asking you for upfront cash payments. Avoid that at all costs. These people, legitimate traders, will not be asking you for cash up front to do work. If you do that, then you really do run the risk of losing your money.
Anyway, we decided to go ahead with it because it all sounded pretty realistic and pretty proper. I was up at my workplace. I still do a bit of part-time work, and I explained to my son I'm going home because there's a bitumen people. So he told me, "Gosh, Dad," he said, "these are Flyby nights." He said, "They're shonks." He said, "It's all over the radio." I said, "You fair dinkum?" He said, "Too right, we had them in here." So I got the granddaughter to ring my wife, Nan, and she rang the police. I drove home to find the fair trading people in the yard. I no sooner walked in here and the 2 Irish blokes ran up the yard, jumped the fence, hopped in their car, shot through, and I've never seen them since. They did a runner, and I didn't know what was going on. So I had the physician explain to me that they had been menacing other people, they had done work of a low grade for other people, and demanded cash.
They can appear on the surface to be very genuine traders, but they're not. So don't be fooled. That's our key message, is don't be fooled by these people. Some of these people come from overseas and have heavy English and Irish accents. So you can really distinguish them by asking them to see if they have a licence card. In most states and territories across Australia, each legitimate trade person or builder is required to have a licence or a card. And so ask for them to present that card to you, and you can check the bona fides.
Well, I think this is a bit sort of how you're going down here, and I can't see that having a very long life. It might be on the council strip, but the whole idea though was to bitumen pave it right through, so you know, could get the water out of here. And if you have a look around the edges, particularly thin, and everybody's frightened me because I've since found out the 2 nursery people also had them in there, and it didn't last 8 to 12 weeks.
It's estimated that each year itinerant traders are involved in over $100 million worth of trade right across Australia. The problem with itinerant traders is they either take your money and run, or they do such a poor job that you have to pay to get someone else to come and fix the work.
The worst of the whole thing is the fair trading people have pointed out, because they're unregistered, they're unlicensed, I can have no redress or recall if the work is not up to standard or I've got a problem with the job. The whole thing with this, I always wanted something like this, but at my age there's no chance. Once I've taken that money out of the bank, there's no chance I'll ever be able to put it back in. So it's a one-way ticket with your money. That's the scary bit.
Basically, a lot of these itinerant traders are doing roof restorations, sealed driveways and other building work. So that's the type of work that they'll be asking to do. Previously, we have had them come across Australia and try to sell electronic equipment as they move through the states and territories. So the key thing is to avoid these people. They're clearly identifiable in the sense that they won't be able to present with a legitimate licence card. So what we're asking consumers to do is avoid them, but if they see them or come into contact with them, is to contact Fair Trading on 13 32 20.